It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Driving on the highway, going to a show. Stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, broken bone, getting high, getting shook. I tell you folks, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's easy to do one night stands. Try being a rock and roll band. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Caden Reif, and welcome back to another installment of the 2007 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series. It's the second half of the doubleheader here at Michigan as we take you to the O'Reilly Auto Parts 400 for the second of two here today, here from Michigan International Speedway. Take you to your starting lineup in today's race. As starting on pole is going to be DJ Kennington's number 81 car. The points leader sits up first here today with Greg Biffle in the 16 to his outside in second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 will start in the third position with Jimmy Johnson in fourth. Jeff Gordon's 24 will be P5, and Tony Stewart in the 6th position. 7th, that's going to be Scott Riggs in the 57, and Elliott Sadler in 8th. Last winner out at this racetrack on Saturday. 9th is going to be Juan Pablo Montoya, his teammate. 10th belongs to Bobby Labonte to round out that top 10. 11th is going to be Carl Edwards, and Brad Keselowski in the 12th spot. Ricky Hendrick starts in P13, and J.J. Yaley will be 14th. Kyle Busch, P15. Casey Kane in the 16th position. 17th is Robbie Gordon's 31 car, and Ryan Newman in the 18th spot. 19th is going to be Martin Truex Jr., and Marcos Ambrose will be 20th. 21st, TJ Bell is 26, with Todd Cleaver in 22nd in the 98. Jason Leffler 23rd, and Matt Kenseth will start in the 24th spot. 25th place, that'll be John Andretti, with Kurt Busch in 26th. 27th is going to be Todd Bodine, and Kevin Harvick in the 28th position. Jeremy Mayfield, P29, and Jimmy McMurray will start in 30th. Ron Hornaday Jr., 31st. Eric Norris in the 32nd position in the 51. AJ Allmendinger, 33rd. Jeff Burton will be 34th in the 8. Casey Atwood, P35, with Casey Mears in 36 in the 55. Clint Boyer will start 37th, with Boris Said's number 60 in 38th. 39th will be Scott Wimmer's 23. David Rudiman starts in 40th, and rounding out the field in the back row, Ricky Craven in the 96 and Jack Sprague in the 78. 42-car field, same 42 entries as last time out on Saturday. Second half of the doubleheader here at Michigan as we get set to go. It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts 400 as we take you to the racetrack for the most famous words in motorsports, the command, here from Michigan International.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field roars to life as we get set to go. Another 60-lapper here from Michigan. Last time out on Saturday, it was a very, very confusing and interesting race. We saw a yellow flag come out in the middle of pit cycles that left just 10 cars, including the lucky dog, that man DJ Kennington, on the lead lap after the yellow flag completed. And then after that, even at the end of the race, despite the mid-race yellow flag, we still found ourselves with fuel mileage. Elliott Sadler's number 83 was the only car to have made it on fuel at the end of that race, and he collected his first win since 2001 with that 83 team, collecting his first win of the 2007 season. Kennington and Greg Biffle on the front row here. We got a taste of what this racetrack race is like. It's still the old Michigan that you remember, just a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical. We saw a lot more strung out racing, but still these guys can pass, and they can pass easy. So we're going to see a lot of action here today, as we did yesterday. Kennington and Greg Biffle to lead everybody to the green flag here. Hoping for a little bit of a cleaner race here in this one. Saw also a 3-flip accident on the backstretch early in the going. It was on lap number 5 that we saw that accident yesterday at Michigan. Back half of the field kind of flew apart there on the backstretch. Nobody was injured. Everybody was okay after that accident, but Michigan, not one to disappoint on the racing side, nor the excitement factor. Hoping everybody stays a little bit cleaner here today. Pace car going to peel off on the left here. DJ Kennington and Greg Biffle, 2 intermediate specialists on the front row as we round turn 4 and head towards the box here, waiting for the flag. And we are underway. It's the green flag in the air, and we are racing for the second time this weekend here at Michigan. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is already blowing up off the start. And that was after the green flag. Caution is immediately going to come out, as Dale Jr. might have just money shifted. And he's going to be out of the race early. I've never seen anything like that. Coming back to the yellow flag here as DJ Kennington leads everybody around, and Earnhardt Jr. blows a motor right after crossing the start-finish line. So we are under yellow flag. Looked like Junior also spun out afterwards. Might have had trouble controlling that thing after it grenaded coming off the start. You saw he didn't get off to a super great start. And almost immediately after the green flag, right as he crossed the line, that thing just started smoking and had to dive to the bottom of the racetrack, get out of everyone's way, and yeah, got a big piece of the grass there. Imagine the motor was locked up and he got the inside wall. So Junior out on lap number 1 thanks to issues with his engine. We are under caution right away here from Michigan, as Kennington looking like he might stay out from the lead while pretty much everybody else is going to come in to top off on fuel. And he will. So Kennington retains the lead. Majority of the field looking like pretty much everybody is going to come in here. Couple might stay out. Appears as though Wimmer is going to do so, as well as Mears. And the 77 of Bodine as well. So 3 or 4 cars still on the racetrack here. Going to imagine this will be fuel only for the majority of the field, as Stewart and Jimmy Johnson, 3rd and 2nd place, bring it in here. Championship contending Tony Stewart in for fuel. And bit of a long hold here thanks to traffic for Stewart. This is a bit of a disaster of a pit stop for the 42 as he drops a long way back. Johnson wins the race off of pit road. Lap number 3 under intermission. Now we will take you to that intermission, I should say, as DJ Kennington stays out, retains the race lead. We'll be right back. It is the O'Reilly Auto Parts 400 here from Michigan International. Back from intermission here at Michigan as we get set to go green this time. Couple of mechanical issues under the yellow flag. Number 48 of Jimmy Johnson also blew up under that yellow flag, so potentially some issues of these drivers maybe reusing their engines from last race, having some wear and tear problems as the 88 and 48 have both already blown up in this race. Johnson retires as well. Kevin Harvick in the 20 also had a tire go down under that yellow flag, so he came in for 2 extras. Didn't fall a lap down. Limped it back to pit road, but he'll be restarting at the back of the field. DJ Kennington stays out, retains the race lead. Second place is going to be Scott Wimmer's number 23 after he stayed out as well. Mears, Bodine, and Sprague round out the top 5, all staying out. Keselowski first pitter, no tires for anyone other than Harvick, so these guys are all just coming in to top off on fuel under this yellow flag. But that too going to be restarting in the 6th position. And now another issue as a 00 of Leffler has a tire going down coming to the restart. We are going to go green this time, as that carcass is looking like it's going to stay together on that 00 car as he brings it to pit road. But yeah, a lot of trouble. You see Riggs as well ran into some issues on pit road, had some damage on his car as well. A lot of chaos early, and we have only completed a single green flag lap. Regardless, pace car in, Kennington to the box, green flag is back in the air, and we get back to racing right away here from Michigan. Kennington up to speed from the lead. You saw Leffler on pit road there, got his extra tires, and he gets back to action there in the pits. Gonna rejoin the racetrack. Meanwhile, Kennington leading everybody down the front stretch here, continues to open up that gap up front. You see Stewart, who lost a couple of spots on pit road thanks to all the traffic, trying to make some headway early. Get up front, where Kennington has really seemed to have brought some speed here to Michigan, was very competitive and the dominant car early in the Saturday race. But there you see Stewart trying to make up time, and Leffler also rejoining the racetrack on the bottom here. Going to stay out of harm's way, although cutting it pretty tight here, trying to get back into the draft as he falls a lap down thanks to the extra tires on his race car. Racing away for second and further on back, Mears in the 55 took that spot from Wimmer last lap. Keselowski, one of the early pitters, trying to move up front here, moving into the 4th position past his Alliance teammate, that's the Jasper 77 of Todd Bodine. And once again, you see Stewart continuing to make up some spots, trying to get around the 16 of Biffle, who's stuck on the outside right now. Side by side with Ricky Hendrick, at least for the moment, down the backstretch, trying to find a way underneath him, not going to be able to do it in turn 3. As Hendrick remains in front of the 42, going to gun it underneath of Newman here in turn 3. And the racing continues for second place as Kennington, at a draft track of all places, really starting to just rifle away in the lead. Has a pretty sizable gap up front now. A lot of cars who are a little bit slower as they are 4 wide going into turn 1. Bodine got some help from Ricky Hendrick. Slid up the racetrack, still 4 wide, but Newman's going to back out of it. That was very, very nearly disastrous. Ricky Hendrick brushed the doors with the 77 of Bodine in the middle of 4 wide into turn 1. Everybody keeps it straight despite the contact, and Stewart continuing to pick off spots. He moves into the 3rd position now, trying to get around Keselowski for 2nd. And here you see that advantage of not being stuck amidst the battles, of course. All these guys really holding each other up, racing hard for position from 2nd on back. Stewart hoping he can maybe pull away just a little bit here as he takes away the 2nd position, but Biffle, I doubt he's going to be very patient here. This 16, of course, so competitive at this racetrack. But going to actually give Stewart a little bit of slack here. Maybe try and work together to get up to the back bumper of that 81, who's got a maybe 15-20 car length lead over his championship rival, Stewart, who has taken away that 2nd spot. But Biffle, right on his back bumper, not going to play nice, and he's going to duck to the bottom, try and take away that 2nd spot. Marcos Ambrose having himself a good run today as well in the 13 car. He sits inside the top 5 at the moment, might fall out here as he's stuck on the outside, but Kurt Busch, another competitive race here at Michigan. He moves into the 4th position ahead of the 13. Still side by side between Stewart and Biffle for the 2nd spot. Tony really tried to drive it in there on the outside, but just not quite going to have the run that he would want to stay in front of Biffle. 16 takes away 2nd. If there's anyone who has a shot at running down Kennington up front, it would be this 16 car. He moves into the runner-up position and is going to slot into the draft of this 81, trying to run him back down for 1st. Stewart stays in front of his teammate Kurt Busch for the 3rd position. Fourth is the 01, 5th is the 5. Robbie Gordon making his way towards the front of the field again here as he runs in the 6th spot in the AT&T 31. Wimmer has recovered from his early restart woes and is actually going to pass that 31 for position here out of turn 4. Yaley having himself another good run as well. Of course, the 13 and the 10 that we've mentioned having some more outstanding runs here today. Both qualified very well coming into this race. And of course, it was a big game of adjustments moving into this race. Of course, you want to consider the difference in weather. You want to consider the fact that the track is a little bit more rubbered up. And of course, just move off of what you had in the race on Saturday. That's why we're seeing some guys who are running a lot better in this race than they were yesterday in the first event at this racetrack. That these guys had such a quick turnaround to get back to work on their race cars, try and figure out what was going to be competitive for them here today, trying to work out their setup for the race here today. And a lot of guys focused on the race itself instead of qualifying, considering that they had a full race's worth of data to work with coming into today, both on the setup notes and of course telemetry. So a lot of guys, my goodness, is Bodine once again making contact there. He got into the door of Yaley hard there in turn 2, managed to not get turned. But a lot of drivers who really tinkered on their cars, them and their crews. Some teams even working into the night to try and figure out what they wanted here coming into the Sunday race and try and turn around their fortunes from the race yesterday on Saturday. And of course, a lot of these teams just hoping that we don't have another yellow in the middle of pit cycles to throw a wrench into their plans here today. And we didn't have that early wreck either. Instead, that early yellow coming from Dale Earnhardt Jr. blowing up right on the start of this race. But a couple of drivers bringing in some very good adjustments into this race. Of course, you're stuck with your body, your chassis, everything that goes with setting back up at the shop, but a lot of setup adjustments for these guys, and we're seeing some competitive runs from drivers who maybe didn't quite have the start they wanted to this weekend on Saturday. Kennington still in the lead, comfortable lead over Stewart now, who has passed Biffle for the 2nd position. Kurt Busch's teammate followed him into 3rd. And that 01 putting some pressure on his teammate. Kennington really just in control of this race right now, but Kurt Busch going to jump underneath of his teammate here in turn 1. The battle for 2nd place continues. And now the 01 has taken 2nd place. A very nice move by Kurt Busch to deal with his teammate quickly. Didn't lose a lot of time doing so. And Biffle is going to follow through on that 42, trying to take away the 3rd spot as Kurt Busch covers them both off. But we're seeing just this dominance from Kennington, who was already so quick in the race on Saturday. We mentioned adjustments. That doesn't mean that the drivers who were already competitive in the race on Saturday couldn't make adjustments to make their good cars even better. And Kennington, the 81, who already led some laps on Saturday, seems to have found the right move and has dominated the early showing of this race from the pole. Nobody else has led a single lap in today's race. And you can see why with Kennington at a track where draft is so important like Michigan, already having such a massive lead. Slowly been losing it as these guys have been leeching off the draft, but of course they really just refuse to work together back there. And moves for 2nd place have been the get-go here today, and Biffle proving that as he moves past Kurt Busch for the 2nd position. But regardless of those battles, they've still slowly been reeling him back in. Kennington's gap probably about 5-10 car lengths less than it was when we mentioned just how big of a lead he had. Biffle doing his best now to try and reel him back in. Of course, that 16 looking for a win at this racetrack as well. Always competitive here at Michigan, and we hound on that always when we come to Michigan and California, but that 16 just has a handle on these tracks. There really nobody else does. And he is doing a fantastic job once again here today. Got Kurt Busch trying to challenge him for the second spot again. And he's looking to do exactly that, side by side, for the runner-up position here. But they are really starting to close back up on Kennington. And Kennington looked like he got a little sideways there coming out of turn 2. This opens the door for Busch to try and challenge him for the lead. See if the 01 can get under him going into turn 3. And he does. See how much room Kennington's forced to give him. Going to try and run up for the grip. Busch on the bottom, Kennington on the top, and for the first time today, it's a different leader at the front of the field. Kurt Busch takes the lead from DJ Kennington. Down into turn 1. Side by side now for the second position between the 81 and the 16. As Biffle trying to follow on through, take the advantage when you got it, and move into this runner-up spot behind Kurt Busch. Kennington really drove it into turn 3, trying to fend off Biffle on that outer line. Of course, as we mentioned on the race on Saturday, how much better the outside was compared to itself in turns 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4. But Kennington really made nice work of that outside there, drove it in on entry, and he cleared Biffle. They almost went 3 wide for third behind him. But Newman, once again, member of a spot he doesn't want to be in, he backs out. Being a little conservative here today. Off of turn 4 and down the front stretch. Robbie Gordon making his presence known up front. Side by side for second going into turn 1 is a 31 trying to make a pass here on Kennington for the second position. And there you see Tony Stewart, who had fallen a little bit to the wayside in the mix, trying to catch up to the lead. Finally finds his way back up here, and now he's in the mix as well in the 42, trying to go around the outside of Biffle into turn 3. Not quite going to work out for him there, as he couldn't quite find the grip that Kennington did when he defended against that 16 car. Robbie Gordon's taken away second. Newman trying to find a way around Biffle. They are 3 wide for the second spot here. Kennington crossing up this 31, and issues for the 01, and Kennington gets into the back of Kurt Busch, who just had an issue with his engine. Championship implications as Kennington has damage on the front of his race car. Caution flag will come out. And Kennington, huge deal for this 81, as he's now got a big dent on the front. And the question is if the power is okay on that Chevrolet. And it is Kurt Busch who has an engine issue from the lead right in front of the 81 car. Robbie Gordon takes the lead. I cannot believe what I just saw. And Michigan just continues to get crazier. Yellow flag flies. 00 of Jason Leffler will be the lucky dog here, only car a lap down. And there you saw disaster struck right as Kennington made the move. Kurt Busch had some engine trouble, got out of line, but nowhere for Kennington to go. And the 81 now has damage on the front of his race car, and that is big trouble for our championship leader. Pit stops here for the leaders. And Kennington going to get some much-needed damage repair as the yellow flag comes out, of course. With the impediment by the 01, race off of pit road. Robbie Gordon again with some pit road trouble. And I believe Newman might have won the race off of pit road versus the 16 there. It was pretty tight. And he did. So Ryan Newman steals away the lead. Although Harvick did stay out, would imagine this 20 might come in here. Would be surprised if he didn't. Kurt Busch also on the racetrack here, despite the engine trouble, going to try to remain in this race. And as mentioned, Jason Leffler's 00 will be the lucky dog. Taking an intermission here from Michigan as Ryan Newman wins the race off of pit road, and he will be the leader as Harvick is going to head down pit road this time. Absolute disaster for the 81 of DJ Kennington as he is now well down the order. Looked like he got most of that damage fixed, but we'll see what the pace is like. But we'll take an intermission here from Michigan, and we'll be right back. It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts 400. Back from intermission as we get set to go green. Ryan Newman, 38, takes away the lead, winning the race off of pit road. Tony Stewart is going to restart in the second position in that 42. Greg Biffle will be third. JJ Ailey continues his strong performance here today. The 10 car starts in fourth, and fifth place is going to be Casey Kane's number 12. DJ Kennington, as mentioned, with the damage there. Going to restart in 18th. Remains to be seen if he'll be okay on engine power related stance with that 81 car after getting knocked up on the front end, getting into the back of Kurt Busch, who had his engine trouble. Busch still in the race as well. Going to see if the 01 meets minimum speed after an issue with his powertrain. But coming back to the restart here just prior to halfway in this race with Newman's 38 taking the lead here on the pit cycle. Pace car going to peel in on the left. 38 and 42 up front. This is a prime opportunity for Stewart in this championship hunt. Green flag waves, and we are right back underway, and it is a great start for the 42 of Stewart, who's going to take a look on Newman. Now slots back in line, see if he gets aggressive going into turn one here. 38 going to have a chance to block him, but no. Stewart down to the bottom right away, trying to capitalize, but the 38 with some great defense on the outside, and looking like the cold tires favor that top. In turns 1 and 2, Biffle going to try to go around the outside of Stewart as well. Yaley got aggressive, jumped to the bottom in the 10. But he also was not able to complete the move. That's how Biffle got to that outside lane. Down out of turn 4, back up to speed now. Side by side for the second spot. Newman, great start up front. Stays in the lead as everybody gets up to speed now. Get a look at that 81, who is stuck up on the outside right now. Looks okay in the draft. And the 55 is having engine trouble, and we're wrecking in turn number 1 and 2, and it is a big collection. Caution is out, and we're wrecking hard at the front of the field. Huge hit for the 28 of Truex. Racing back to the yellow flag as Stewart rounds turn 4 and takes the lead. Kennington got through it. It was started by Mears, who had engine trouble. More engine problems for front runners, and the caution is back out. And that was a big crash in turn 2. It was started with Casey Mears in the 55, who lost his engine there going in, and right in front of Robbie Gordon, who had nowhere to go, got into him. And it was Keselowski who had to go around the outside, got some help from McMurray's number 40 there, right up into the 23 of Wimmer, and that is where the trouble started. Hard hit for Truex there, who got into the 23 car. Harvick up into the outside wall as well. Jeff Gordon, contender for last time out, the win on Saturday. Ambrose, who was having a good run, another great run for that 13 car gone down the drain. Massive hit for the 60. As Boris said, who got tagged down into the 20 car there. Help from Truex, who got into that 23. Big hit for him and for Harvick as well. Lucky there was no traffic there as Kurt Busch managed to get around the wreck. Goodness gracious, such a hard wreck there. And you saw McMurray, who had gotten into the back of Keselowski to start the pileup. Nowhere for him to go. Got some help from the 13 of Ambrose. And just again, another rough break for Ambrose's 13 team, who have had the pace so many times this year, but just another incident. And he's out of the race as well. Most of the race leaders stay out. All the damaged cars bring it to pit road. Massive accident here from Michigan. We'll take it to intermission. Halfway here for Tony Stewart, who has taken away the race lead. We'll be right back. It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts 400 here on NASCAR on ESPN. Back from intermission as we get set to go green after the big collection right at the halfway mark of this race. Tony Stewart, 42 car, is going to be the leader after winning the race back there. Greg Biffle starts in the second position. J.J. Yaley continues his march up front. Hasn't led a lap yet today, but looking very competitive in that 10 car. He's third. Fourth is going to be Ryan Newman after losing the lead on that last restart. Casey Kane will start in fifth. DJ Kennington not too terribly far off in 11th place. Still with that damage on the front of his race car. Not sure how good his pace is. I'm not sure he'll have the race-winning car anymore. But he does have some pace left in it. It seemed like he was at least mostly up to speed in the draft. Stewart going to lead the field back to the restart here. Just 35 cars left in this race and potentially a lot less after minimum speed DQs on this restart. But we're going to bring it here on lap number 34. Tony Stewart will lead the field back to the green, trying to make up some more points in this championship. As a pace car is going to peel in here. Coming back to the restart. Stewart, championship contender, leading the field up to it here. Had that great restart last time. Into the restart box. Green flag is back in the air. And we are once again underway. Another great restart for that 10 of Yaley. He's taking a look on Greg Biffle towards turn one, but is going to be patient this time. Was the reason that Biffle got that run on the outside in turns 1 and 2 on the last restart, trying to take him to the inside in 1 and 2 off of the last restart. Down the back stretch and up to speed now. .42, 16, 10, all up front. Newman trying to build a run here. On that 10 car, Yaley kind of got out of shape. And it's going to open the door for Newman to try to retake third place as he goes side by side for that spot. Meanwhile, up front, top two have broken away. Biffle putting pressure on Stewart for the lead. Not going to make the move yet. Side by side behind. .38 and 10, still door to door for that runner-up spot. Yaley really drives it off into turn 3. In fact, overdrove it, almost got into the outside wall, and he ends up top of 3 wide. This is going to cost him a lot of positions as he starts to fall backwards. And they're getting racy for this for the third position behind. Meanwhile, seeing these cars down on speed at the back of the field. We'll get to them in a little bit. Top two have still broken away and continuing to run out away from that third position. Ryan Newman, who is battling with Ricky Hendrick for that spot. No move from Biffle for the lead yet. Thinking about it now out of turn 4, and here he comes. Biffle with the run on the bottom, side by side for the race lead between Stewart and Biffle. This pulls Hendrick up into the mix. Does the 5 take them 3 wide? Doesn't look like he's close enough to do so. And he will not. But Biffle clear of the 42, and he takes the lead away. Ricky Hendrick into the mix. How about Casey Atwood's number 30, who has made his way up into this mix up front? But Hendrick is going to make quick work of this 16. It's the battle of the underdogs all of a sudden as Casey Atwood and Ricky Hendrick, two drivers who have absolutely been on the struggle bus this year, find their way into first and second place. Couple of other shout-outs to make. Jeff Burton's number 8 car moves into the top 5. David Rudeman, another great run, moving into this top group. Boyer in the 4, who was the pole sitter yesterday, making an appearance up front. And suddenly, the underdogs look strong in this one. Atwood took a look on Hendrick there going into turn 3, thought better of it. You're seeing a lot of cars back here. I want to actually take a look what if Craven was involved in that accident. When the yellow flag came out. I do not believe he was. It was on the last lap. Yeah, it appears as though he got through it, so number 96 is back here with the rest of these guys who are really struggling for speed thanks to the damage on their race cars. Meanwhile, up front, a lot of battling for this third position right now, seeing a lot of 3 wide. A lot of stack-ups up front. Biffle almost got the wall there in turn 1. It's Clint Boyer's number 4, who moves around the outside of Juan Pablo Montoya into the third position. Battling up front for the lead as well as Casey Atwood in the 30. Coming to 20 laps to go, looking to steal the lead from Ricky Hendrick, and he's going to do just that. Atwood, Hendrick, Boyer, Montoya, Edwards, the top 5. 19 has found his way back up front after a competitive run last time out. Almost 4 wide back there. Stewart is hemorrhaging spots, and as a matter of fact, has fallen behind Kennington despite the damage to the 81 car. So Stewart really just dropping spots on this run. It's fallen all the way outside the top 10. Biffle as well has really lost a lot of time. How about Eric Norris, another driver who has found his way into the top 10 after a great run in the Saturday race was one of the guys who was on the lead lap after the mid-cycle yellow. He's found his way up front. Atwood just lost the lead to Hendrick again. Boyer and Montoya, the 4 and 84, trying to find their way into this mix as we're starting to get into crunch time here at Michigan. Four of the 5 members of the top 5 have yet to win a race this season. 2 of them, Atwood and Boyer, have not won a race in their Cup Series career. Issues for Harvick, has a tire down. Didn't impede anybody, and he made it to the apron, so the racetrack is going to stay green. Jeff Burton makes it 6. Of these drivers, or the front 6, 5 of them have not won a race this year. And you extend that to now the top 7 as Kenseth moves ahead of Robbie Gordon. It's 6 of the top 7 who have not won a race this season. Kenseth, Edwards, Burton, Boyer, Atwood, and Ricky Hendrick, all drivers who have not won a race this year. Montoya only a single win to his Cup Series career. Won it this year at Talladega, has not won a non-plate race yet. Moving past Boyer for the 3rd spot. And it has rapidly turned into the race of surprise contenders up front. Montoya making a late race charge here. Harvick made it to pit road in the 20 car, going to make an early pit stop. You have to imagine there's probably one more pit stop left in this race. I don't think that there's going to be any fuel mileage this time. 3 wide for a moment back there. Jeff Burton up the middle. Kenseth on the outside. So Robbie Gordon's 31 on the bottom of his teammate, backed out pretty quick. Down the back stretch, Montoya continuing to make headway, taking Boyer with him, as he had gotten past that 4 car a couple of laps ago. But he moves past Atwood. Now on the back bumper of Ricky Hendrick. Coming to 15 laps to go here from Michigan. It's a battle between the 84 and the 5 up front now, side by side for the lead as the laps continue to disappear here at Michigan. Montoya on the bottom, looking for his 2nd win of this season, and he is clear of Ricky Hendrick out of turn 2. New leader, number 84. But Ricky Hendrick right back underneath Montoya there in turn 3. And he slips right on past that 84, and the 5 right away retakes the race lead. 4 cars under a blanket. Hendrick, Montoya, Atwood, Boyer, Burton with help from his teammate, the 31 of Robbie Gordon, trying to find his way back up front. Number 19 of Edwards in this mix as well. Kennington has managed to just run away from Stewart and salvage this race. You just cannot seem to stop him, and he is still within a shouting chance of it. 2 by 2 up front, meanwhile, as the 84 of Montoya trying to steal back the lead from Ricky Hendrick. Had it at the line. Trying to clear him into turn 1. And he's going to do just that. Montoya retakes the lead. Boyer to 3rd ahead of Atwood. And he's trying to take away 2nd from Ricky Hendrick. And he did. 4 to 2nd place. Leffler, the 00, is on pit road. Down the front stretch, Boyer and Montoya, who have found some late race speed, just rifled past the 5 and the 30 and are now 1st and 2nd place. Late in the going here at Michigan. once again turned into an underdog fight up front, but the rest of these guys who are members of this top 10 and 5 starting to close back up. Kenseth in the 17, Robbie Gordon's 31, Jeff Burton in the 8, Edwards in the 19, still not out of it and slowly gaining time on the leaders. Ricky Hendrick tried to get underneath of Boyer going into turn 1, but Boyer's going to stay in front of the 5. Trying to chase down Montoya for the lead down the backstretch as he's got a big run on this 84. Taking a look. Trying to get underneath of him. Couldn't do it. Montoya retains the lead. Robbie Gordon in the 31 just dove into pit road, so we're going to see our first pitter here. Gordon trying the undercut. 10 to go here for Michigan. Montoya pulling away a little bit from that 4 of Clint Boyer. Down the back stretch. See who decides to come into pit road this time. Looking like Boyer might stay out here. And he will. Montoya comes in. Jeff Burton stays out as well. It's Montoya, Atwood, and Ricky Hendrick, all those members of that front group who are going to pit in here. 9 to go. Boyer stays out. And he got held up quite a lot, having to go to the outside there in 3 and 4. He is going to have a cleaner pit road, you would have to think here. At least going to have a cleaner time getting on pit road. But he is going to bring it to the pits with 9 to go, coming to 8 laps left. Boyer, who leads an extra lap, brings it to the pits. There's Robbie Gordon on the shortcut. Jeff Gordon, damage number 24, stays out to take the lead for the moment. Bobby Labonte in the 18 also stayed out one extra time. The 5 leaving the pits with the 17 right on his back bumper. There you see Montoya leaving the pits in the net race lead right now. Atwood not too far behind him right now, but has got a pretty big gap. Clint Boyer leaving the pits in the 4 car. Let's see where Boyer cycles out. There's Montoya. And Montoya's number 84 is going to take back the lead here on the backstretch as Boyer gets back on the racetrack. And issues for McMurray. The 40's blowing up and the caution flag is going to come out. Jeff Gordon and the 18 of Labonte were on pit road. And I do believe they might be the leaders. Caution is out. There's McMurray stopped on the racetrack. Montoya was going to be the net race leader. I'm not sure what the deal's going to be here with the 24 and the 18. You would have to imagine that they're going to be the race leaders here, though Gordon with a ton of damage on his race car. But he is going to be the race leader. So the 24 steals away the lead. We should have a restart in this race. But the whole field's going to have to get waved around here. They'll be tail end. Labonte in the 18 as well. And this race just got flipped over again. So we'll take an intermission right away here from Michigan as Jeff Gordon, damage on the back of his race car from the yellow flag. He's going to be the leader here. And this race just continues to get crazier. 6 to go. Going to be a lot less when we go green. Back from intermission here at Michigan, and we will have a restart. Jeff Gordon in the 24, who despite the damage was in the top 15 by the start of pit cycles, has found his way into the lead. Maybe a stroke of luck compared to the unlucky loss on Saturday, where he seemed like he had that race locked up before Elliott Sadler made it on fuel. And Bobby Labonte, who was around the 25th position at the time of yellow flag, is the only other car to stay out with him, and he starts second. Montoya and Clint Boyer, who seemed like they were going to be dueling for the win at the end of this race, are going to restart in third and fourth. And Casey Atwood, who was also a member of the conversation, he will restart P5 with just 2 laps to go. It'll be a green-white checkered here from Michigan as Gordon and Labonte are going to lead the field to the restart. Things just continue to get crazier here at Michigan. It's one of the most wild pair of races I think we have ever seen. And the 24, without a rear bumper cover, is going to restart in the lead. Things might get ugly here, but it's going to be a thriller on this restart. 2 laps left. Pace car going to peel in here as Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte are going to lead the field to the green flag here. pace car in. Waiting for the signal here. 24, 18, 84, 430, your top 5. 2 to go. Green flag is in the air. Boyer, a huge jump. He ducks to the bottom. 00 is blowing up. Jason Leffler, they're wrecking in the back of the field. The caution is going to come out. And we're now racing for the win, coming back to the flag. Down the backstretch for the final time. Jeff Gordon has somehow stolen the lead. They are double file behind him. Can anybody find a way around this 24 out of turn 4? The white flag is going to be the checkered flag as well. This is the race for the win, and Jeff Gordon is going to find a way to victory lane as we take the yellow flag. I cannot believe what I just saw. Unbelievable finish to this race. And just waiting for Gordon to get back to the front of this pacing queue is the 24 on strategy. Lost it on strategy last time out on the Saturday race, and Gordon, with the damage on the rear of his car, is going to bring it to the line here, and he is going to be your winner. An unbelievable turn of events. And we do not get to see this race finish under green. Jeff Gordon, the 24, second win of this season as he brings it to the stripe. Meanwhile, your championship contenders, Kennington manages a 14th place finish and a disaster of a race for Stewart as he comes home in 20th. And we get a look back at the incident on the 2 to go restart that caused this yellow flag as Leffler from 16th place with engine trouble on the restart. Yeah, and you saw Biffle there into the inside wall. Just a disaster of a restart. And what an odd finish. And Jeff Gordon, under yellow flag, is your winner here today. But that, as it turns out, is the finish to the O'Reilly Auto Parts 400 as Jeff Gordon in the 24 car simply steals a win here on Sunday at Michigan. The 24 is your winner after a wild finish to this race. You can never be too sure at Michigan, it seems like, and the 24 car wins it here today. That'll do it for coverage here for Michigan. Next week, Cup Series heads to Talladega. It'll only get less predictable from here as the championship fight continues. Race number 25 will be the EA Sports 500. Jeff Gordon wins it here today, his second win of 2007. But we'll see you next time. I've been Caden Reif. It's been a pleasure to have you along as always, and we'll see you next time. And as always, have yourself a good one.